HE keyboards are all the hype nowadays for their amazing gaming performance and features. But they kinda suck for regular typing and sound pretty bad. But what if I told you there's a HE keyboard under $100 and is one of the best sounding HE keyboards I've ever tried? The HE keyboard market has rapidly improved throughout the course of 2024. And in my opinion, HE keyboards have reached that point where it's an all-around do-it-all keyboard. So this is the Halo65 HE, and I can say right now this is one of the best all-around keyboard you can buy. Before the Halo65 HE, there was actually a regular Halo65. It was just a regular 65% keyboard that sounded pretty decent at a good price point at that time. But at that time, budget keyboards weren't as cheap as they are now, and HE keyboards weren't as popular. When HE keyboards slowly got into trend, their target audience was solely for gamers. It didn't have much regard for feel and sound, cause gamers who aren't into custom keyboards wouldn't really care. But now the Halo65 HE has just fixed all of that and comes pre-assembled at $100. So for a quick comparison to the Halo65 itself, it was priced at $120, just a regular keyboard with no special features. But now we have a HE gaming keyboard, a Halo65 HE, priced at $100 and still comes pre-assembled. And to me, that's a pretty big improvement. When you first handle the board, it's pretty hefty for its size. It doesn't feel like a cheap keyboard at all. It has a clean aluminum top frame with an ABS bottom housing. It has a pretty minimalist look to it, which Nufi boards are pretty well known for. It has very subtle details and the RGB to give the board that extra personality. Now, although most HE keyboards are 60 or 65%, excluding the Wu-Tang 80 of course, I would really like to see a 75% or 80% of the Halo series, like a Halo 80 HE or a Halo 75 HE. Since we are improving on the feel and sound of HE keyboards, I feel like layouts is one of the biggest factors they should consider. Now, on to the pre-assembled keycaps and switches. We have double shot PBT cherry profile keycaps. With the colorway it has, the keycap does match the board really well. For our switches, we have the very popular Gateron Magnetic Jade Pros. It's an extra $10 for these switches, and if you're having trouble deciding, trust me, you should get the Jade Pros. For the extra $10, it's worth it. It has a more consistent typing feel and sounds a lot better. Some might even say the best sounding HE switches, so have a listen. I'm not sure about you guys, but when I first tried this keyboard, I was pretty amazed at how good this keyboard sounds. If I'm comparing it to other boards that I've tried and seen online, this is probably on my top 2 list in terms of how good the HE keyboard sounds, up there with the Wu-Tang 80. It sounds so much better than most of the stock HE keyboards in the market right now, but it still does have a very subtle HE keyboard sounding profile to it. It's probably more than just the switches that actually make the keyboard sound good, so let's dig a little deeper and see what's inside. So the keyboard case is held together by some plastic clips and some screws on the top. But the first thing I want to say is the finish and quality on the top housing feels really nice, and it's actually really consistent. The next thing I noticed right away is mounting. Personally, this is the first time I've ever seen a top mounted HE keyboard. I don't think I've seen a top mount on a HE keyboard. We have seen gasket, we have seen tray, but we have not seen a top mount. So for Nufi, this was a really smart choice. They clearly weren't going for the gasket route, so they were gonna go for a stiffer typing experience, and going for a top mount instead of a tray mount would drastically improve how the keyboard sounds. As for why they didn't go with a gasket mount, I'm not too sure. I would have loved to see a gasket mount with a PC plate, but what we have is actually an aluminum plate, which might be the main factor making it a top mount. On top of all that, we have pretty standard dampening. We have a base silicone dampener on our bottom housing, we have plate foam and PCB foam. So combining all of these with the switches is what helps create such a nice sounding keyboard. Everything else is pretty basic and what we're used to. Our PCB equipped with hot swap sockets and south facing perky RGB. We also have some pre-loop plate mounted stabilizers which are done pretty well. I didn't need to tune them whatsoever, they sounded perfectly fine. Realistically, the only thing you would want or need to change is keycaps. Changing out the keycaps to get a different look, but on the Halo65 HE there is only one colorway, which I'm pretty sad about. I would have loved to see a white, a black, maybe a few more colors for more keycap combinations to be possible. Next, one of the most important things for HE keyboards is software, and I have to give it to them. The software is very intuitive and very polished. The performance of the board is no letdown either, it's what you would expect. We have a good custom actuation range from 0.1 to 4mm. Our rapid trigger sensitivity can be as small as 0.02mm. We have 8000 Hz polling rate and 0.25 milliseconds latency. So yeah, we have custom actuation points, rapid trigger, hyper tap, dynamic keystroke, and probably the coolest function on here, which Wu-Ting also does have, they are calling it rapid switch. You have 3 different profiles that can be set up for specific games or specific operating systems. So for example, you can have mode 1 under normal usage, mode 2 under CS2, and maybe mode 3 under OSU. And all you have to do to swap between these profiles is change this switch at the back. So to test out all the gaming performance and features, I decided to test it out on some CS2 games.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Oh.
Clean. Sorry. Maybe this.
Oh.
It's 0.
Oh. Clean.
Clean. One connector. One.
Oh.
What? What? Oh.
Nice.
Oh shit! I screwed this one. Push it. Oh, nice shot.
So with the Halo65 HE, it feels like it was not built solely for gamers, but with the custom keyboard enthusiasts in mind. It's not just made for gaming anymore, it satisfies all the needs that I would want in a custom keyboard, which is sound profile, typing experience, and on top of all that, the gaming performance and features. So if you're interested in the Halo65 HE, definitely do check it out. So having reviewed this board, it does make me want to try upgrading a Wu-Ting 60 HE, because mine sounds like absolute dog shit. And what I want to know is whether I can push a Wu-Ting 60 HE to achieve this level of acoustics. So subscribe if you are interested in watching that, and comment your thoughts on the Halo65 HE, like this video if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!